There you are. Let's try this again. All right.
And now, basking in the glow of social media free speech. Let him cook, let the ideas flow. May I introduce Joe and the top 5 news team.
Ask not what your country can do for you, but ask your AI what it can do for you.
Welcome to Top 5 News, 5 stories in 5 minutes.
He said that, but she told me something completely different.
That's not what he said. You're twisting his words.
She's right. He said it. I heard him.
I can't use any of this.
News you can use.
Boys!
So tonight we're doing the top five stories. And folks, I have to tell you, there's never been anything like it.
You're watching the Top 5 News.
You're watching the Top 5 News.
What does it profit a man to gain the whole world but have fake news?
Got no job, no car, and you don't even watch the Top 5 News.
It has to be true. I saw it on the news.
Best news. I watch a little bit of everything, but I would say probably the top 5 news.
Without Googling it, I would probably go with the top 5 news.
A new way to do news, focusing on useful news, and no news that gives you the blues.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us here on the Top 5 News. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Get a bountiful beverage, like water. You can get what you want. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Let's begin. We give you all the news that you can use and nothing that would make you confused. So if your career is already in a high gear, or if you're just sitting in a cubicle box checking your stocks, waiting to say game over to the work game, or anywhere in between, I'd like to suggest a news show with a very practical name. And once you watch one episode start to finish, you'll never be the same. Or at least your news will never be the same. So we have 5 news stories for you tonight, and actually a couple of bonus stories too. So let's get into it, see how close we can go to 5 minutes for you. World Cup final set, Spain versus Argentina. Did you see it? Oh my goodness. Messier. Look at Messier. Oh man, what an amazing performance. Those two kicks from the same spot. Spain beat Argentina in the last minute. Spain versus Argentina, the last minute win, 2 assists by Messier. It was 1-0. And in the last 10 minutes, you got to watch the last 10 minutes. He kicks 2 perfect assists to two teammates, and just amazing. Not to mention all the Erling stuff, and I was going to show you some videos on that, but if you go to some of our socials, you can see some of the Erling amazing videos that are there, and you get a good laugh. And quite a remarkable young man. Tonight we have, as I mentioned, 5 stories. We got Google, the EU, we got Microsoft, we have sports update, And yeah, the World Cup is coming down to the two teams. Spain defeated France 2-0 in the semifinal. Argentina beat England 2-1 with the semifinal now complete. The tournament is on a short break. Thanks for saying hello. And tournament's on a short break, and the third place playoff is on July 17th. So they'll take a day off and be back at it tomorrow. See if I get the comments on here. Hold on a second. Nope. There are no comments, but that's okay. Everything is exactly as it's supposed to be. And it's all going to work out. But anyway, I see you saying hello. The final game will be in New York at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. And beyond soccer, you have Australia won the women's T20 World Cup, and the sports world just continues to celebrate major events alongside ESPY. So that's the ESPN Sports Awards. So stars like Lionel Messi and they're in the spotlight. Cristiano and yeah, ESPY Awards coming up. Story number 4 today. Power demand spikes, electricity costs going through the roof. AI is putting pressure on all the power grids. And I don't really understand something. We're going all out to build all these data centers, but I always see posts about don't build a data center and all that. What is that all about? Is that like back in the day, somebody saying don't build a railroad here, or don't build a cell phone tower here, a telephone pole here, an electrical? Don't wire electrical in my city. Am I missing something, that the data centers are wicked and evil? Because we're going to need a lot of electricity. The electricity is expected to jump 26%. And in this year alone. And then, so let me add to that a question for you. You know what's spiking the 26% spike in electrical? Yeah, you're smart. You're right. It's the AI. So question for you. Other than me and you, because we're smart, we're doing a crazy amount of AI, right? You're doing your images, your videos, you're using AI to write to help you do your job. Because if you're not, you're going to get laid off pretty soon. But you're using AI to the max, and so am I. But can you imagine all the do-nothings when they get on and start doing it? Right? Because right now, what percentage of people do you know, your friends, not counting the people watching the show? I know you're all doing AI to the hilt, right? You're all in on AI, except for a few never-hires who are fans, and that's okay. I relate to all sides, both sides of the aisle very well. And what's going to happen when we're all doing AI? And then we're all plugging in more, right? We're all going to have a robot. So I don't really understand the pushback on the data centers, but they say that the demand for electricity next year, 2027, could surge to double. And so that's causing prices to spike. You know, the same people who are complaining we don't want any data centers, guess what they're going to complain about? Electrical costs. Happens every time. But maybe I'm missing something on it. And, you know, I try not to tell you what to think. You decide, and you let me know what you think in the comments. New York has imposed a 1-year moratorium on large data centers. And New York seems to find this crazy way to go out of its way to tax and just run off all the businesses there. And it's just a very consistent theme for some reason. And, you see more and more of the businesses moving to Florida and other places where they have pro-business policies and less, taxation and whatnot. But yeah, New York might be a good time to change before all the millionaires and billionaires leave the city. Public announcement, those are the business owners. Anyway, experts say that the grid, not the chips, is now the biggest bottleneck for AI expansion. You want our country to lead in AI? Let's get building some data centers. Story number 3 today, Uber advanced talks to acquire Delivery Hero. Now that's the food company. The company is in advanced negotiations to buy German giant Delivery Hero in a deal valued at around 15 billion, 14.8. Uber already holds a significant stake in the company. If completed, the acquisition would give Uber major markets across Europe and Middle East, Latin America, and Asia. And it would give them something on the order of 37+% of the delivery. Is that good news? I know it's not news that gives you the blues, but any concern that we have 40% of the delivery in one capable company's hands? I don't think so, but you decide. Story number 2 today. EU forces Google to, and I need to apologize to New York because EU is acting really crazy. Sorry, New York, you guys are doing really great. EU continues to make crazy plans. The problem with running all the business owners off with these big taxes and the bureaucratic nonsense. I've said this many times before on the show, is that it's a two-pronged problem, really. One, business owners are smart. 2, they talk to each other. EU forces Google to open Android for AI competitors. The European Union has finalized new rules requiring Google to, I'm the least Google fan, and it's nothing personal, but I've hit the point of 4 million views on X. We're spiking majorly on Facebook, majorly. I did this thing on Erling. It's a collage of all his videos and his pictures, and that's hit like 30,000 views on one post, and we're at something like 50,000 posts for the last 28 days. So that's 600,000 views run rate on Facebook. And then I go and I look at my YouTube stats. I have like 12. I'm not kidding you. I was going to show you. I had some tech issues, but I have like 12 views on one video and 2 on another. And I watched it once. You know what I'm saying? My goodness. Google, help a brother out. And I know that they were found guilty, or they did a settlement, right? Let me correct that. They allegedly had a settlement with a conservative group, and also with Donald Trump, that paid him money for the conservative settlement, the suppression of conservative views. You think I would be a conservative candidate? I'm probably a little bit, right? But there's more conservative than me. I don't know why that's they're knocking me out of the box. But meanwhile, Mr. Zuckerberg, Mr. Musk, thank you for the millions of views. And hey, let's just keep the party going with you guys. And hopefully someday Google will lean into the show. But back to business. After I did my little slam Google, and I don't hate Google. You all said I hated Google because I said they were bloated, and I'm going to talk about Microsoft in a minute too, and they're bloated, and that's the problem that a lot of these big companies have. Number one, they're bloated, and number 2, they want to make everybody happy before they do anything, which costs them in this AI world of right now. Google is forced to, and I'm defending them here, by the way. Google is forced to open up their Android for rivals in an AI Services Act under the Digital Markets Act Google must provide their interoperability for 11 key Android features so AI assistants can work properly on phones. This comes the same week as EU's top court upheld a $4 billion fine against Google over its Android practices. And so Google now has, imagine you're running your business, you're branching out into multiple cities all around the world, and you just get this notice from a government agency. Remember, I got one of those. I got a note from a government agency in New York that said I was discriminating against a guy in Phoenix, and I hadn't even opened up his resume, and it wasn't a scam thing. It was a real deal. Anyway, fortunately, they ended up firing all the state attorneys, so they couldn't wage warfare on business owners. But EU, leave Google alone. Yeah, leave them alone. So anyway, Google has until 2027, 27 on some of them, 2028, to make the required changes where they reveal their practices to their competitors, I guess, whatever the EU has got in mind there with their craziness. But I won't tell you what to think. You decide. Maybe it's a good idea. I actually have had things that I spoke about on here. And then somebody came to me after and said, "Come here, little buddy, let me tell you something, Joe." And I actually changed my mind on things. So I reserve the right to do that. If you got a really good argument, talked to a guy last night about the data centers and how that's, there's that percentage of the population that feels like the cell phones are going to burn your brain and all that. And meanwhile, we're just with our cell phone all day for 30, 40 years. So far, no microwave popcorn coming out of any of us, to my knowledge. Where was I? Google has now, okay, yeah, we did that. Microsoft, another big, bloated, horrible company, but you decide. Microsoft recorded record fixes in its July patch Tuesday. It fixed a record 570 vulnerabilities. And you might say, oh, that's great. They fixed 570 chances for the scammers and hackers to get into my phone, get into my computer. Microsoft, way to go. Okay, here's the question for you. 570 vulnerabilities, and you did your monthly July patch. Well, how many of those did you know 28 days ago? That you could have saved millions of dollars, millions of people from getting hacked, millions of problems. So Microsoft, can I humbly submit that this is not the era of monthly updates? But you decide. The company crediting AI for helping it identify all those 570 updates. Let's give them some credit. Give them credit's due. And however, on the same day, researchers disclosed a Windows 0-day vulnerability. So I'm a little bit ignorant of it. So I was like, what's 0-day? 0-day. So I Google, Grok, give me the 0-day thing that Microsoft's talking about. And what I thought it was I just read it too fast. I thought it was they were announcing a 0-day policy where they're going to fix problems on day one instead of waiting 28 days for their monthly updates. As soon as they released the fix to the 570 known problems to your computer, your Microsoft Word, your Excel, and your PowerPoint, and whatever other stuff their octopus fingers are in your computer, as soon as they announce that, you know what? 0-day vulnerability. No, has nothing to do with how fast they fix it. It's a common vernacular for we just announced our update, but then we found something right after we pushed our update. Well, we found a 0-day vulnerability, something that could hack you, that we weren't able to get it in that last update that we worked so hard to get out to you. And I know everybody's working hard and doing their best and all that, but I don't think it's the era of monthly updates. Microsoft, Google, no. You're telling me you can't get all your people in a room for 8 hours and say, hey, there's 500 things we could work on. What's the 10 we can all agree on? That's how we little companies do it. All right, starting to sound a little like Grandpa, somebody on his lawn. Settle down, Joe. No patch is available yet at all for the 0-day vulnerability. You're still at risk. Sorry, we're supposed to give you positive, encouraging news. Microsoft did fix a record number of bugs to their credit, and new threats continue to emerge every day. A few bonus stories I didn't want you to miss on. Bonus story number 1. Google's AI mode is expanding with direct integrations into Canva, YouTube Music, and Instacart. I didn't know YouTube bought Canva. I guess I missed that whole scene. I just always known it as Canva. Maybe they just kept the name. So it allows users, the AI for Google now, allows users to complete tasks through simple voice or text prompts. So you can tell Google what you want it to do. I think I just burped on the air, but it was better than Chuck Schumer. Story number 2 today, OpenAI. Bonus story. OpenAI has shut down its Atlas AI-powered browser after less than a year. Bonus story number 3. Apple is reportedly exploring acquisition of AI chip companies to strengthen its device on Apple Intelligence features. They want to have more control of their environment, always wise. To control your supply lines. Bonus story number 4, and I think this is our last one. Lego has released a detailed 1,252-piece model of NASA's Hubble Space Telescope. I think that's pretty cool. Did you grow up making models? Did you grow up doing Legos? I did. But you know what I think would be even cooler would be Lego American flags. In this, the 250th year anniversary of our country's country's anniversary, 250 year. Don't you think it would be great if they did a Lego American flag? And I would go so far, I know it's probably like socialist or something, I'd go so far as to say, have the government buy one for every kid in the country. It's worth it. That's like government control or something, Joe. It's like, no, just patriotism, you know. Scott Adams used to say, you have to brainwash your people so that they, you know, love the country. And America's done a good job of that on us. We all love our country. And I think, you know, things like the Star Spangled Banner and the Pledge of Allegiance and honoring the flag, I think that's all a good thing. I don't call it a Democrat or a Republican thing. But I just think kids building American flags, that'd be the coolest thing that we could do. And I'm sure there's a huge budget for 250. So how about we get Lego to give every kid in the country a giant American flag. Remind me tomorrow, I'll show you the giantest American flag. I talked to the guy and I got a picture of it and posted it. It's on my profile. But to their credit, they did do this nice 1,252-piece model of NASA's Hubble Space Telescope. And yeah, Legos is one of the coolest things when I was a kid. Did you play with Legos, or were you more of an Army man person or a guns, you know, cowboys and Indians? Remember we used to play outside? That was for the young people. That was where you actually went outside, and you stayed outside until it was dark and then some. Every day. That was being a kid. What being a kid was like. We didn't have any video games or any of that stuff. You know, we have a bike and a football. That was about it. And like, you know, the rich kids had guns, so they played, you know, cops and robbers, and you know, cowboys and Indians and stuff. And one guy'd always have a baseball and baseball bat, stuff like that. The good old days. Play football. Remember, play football. Car. Everybody walk to the side. Okay, then you go back playing football. Where are we? Yeah, so that's about all that's going on in the news. You can look, you can find a lot of stuff that will make you upset, but we want to bring you, good information that's going to be something that you can use, news you can use, and that it's true. They say all the news tips and no cow chips, not stuff that, not mail-in news. But let me give you a little motivation before we go. I'll see you here tomorrow for 5 more stories. But we know that, work, sometimes it can feel overwhelming. And so whether you're climbing the corporate ladder or you're just trying to get through another day in your cube, no matter where you're at, you're special. God gave you a unique fingerprint to leave an impact in this world that no one else can leave. And remember this, that whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as if you're working for God and not just for your human masters, because Colossians 3:23 says, basically, I'm going to paraphrase it, but it's to give it your all. And so don't just go through the motions. Put your best into it. And even when no one's watching, your effort, your consistency, your attitude, more than you realize, if you just keep showing up and you keep giving it your best and trust, and that's not going to go unnoticed. So whatever season you're in right now, whether you're winning or just surviving, give it your all. You never know who's impacted by your work. This has been your top 5 news show today. A 5-minute news show that sometimes runs 25 minutes over. But that's your top 5 news for today. We'll be back with 5 more stories tomorrow in 5 minutes. And I thank you for watching and sharing, posting, liking, commenting. All that stuff helps get more eyeballs on the show. And so stay encouraged. We'll see you here tomorrow. I'm glad you came. See you next time, everybody. And as the great Paul Harvey would say, good day.